it's Linnea for icrafter. Today we're looking at the Impossible Box Christmas add-on die set. This die set is meant to go with the original Impossible Box Monsters die set so that you can create all kinds of cute little boxes. The Impossible Box Christmas add-on die set has 9 dies that you can use to create 5 different boxes. So there's a chimney with some icicles. You can create this into a gift box, an elf, a Santa, a snowman, and then there's also that little ho 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 sentiment that you can create. Today I'll be making 3. I'll be using the chimney with the ho ho ho. We'll create a little Santa box as well as a snowman Impossible Box. So let's get started with the first one. Let's create the chimney. From the Impossible Box Christmas add-on die set, I'll just need that chimney piece that you see there on the left. And then from the original Impossible Box Monsters die set, I need the die to create the actual box. And I need 2 pieces to create the box, so I'll be die cutting from a couple different shades of red. Lighter red for the box, and then a darker red for the chimney piece. I die cut 2 pieces for the box, and I want to create my chimney going all around my Impossible Box. So I cut 4 of those chimneys as well as 4 of those icicles. And the icicles and the chimney are on one die, so you know which pieces go together. Let's form the Impossible Box. The Impossible Box die is going to not only cut out your shape, but also create a bunch of score lines. And you just want to fold on all of those score lines. I fold back on all of them, except for the very top of the box folds towards you so that you can create the little lip of the box that's going to hold this together. I need to start by adhering the 2 pieces of the Impossible Box together. You can do this with liquid adhesive or with double-sided adhesive like I'm doing here. And you're just going to adhere these together so that the sides match up. So right now I'm making sure that both of those sides of the boxes are flush together. I'm using my iPress burnisher to really reinforce those score lines as well as enforce that double-sided adhesive that I'm putting on here to make sure that's going to stick together. Now you can see this box just kind of forms itself right together. The top of the box, since we fold that out, is going to come right down those score lines. As long as you've scored them, all of them, it's going to just fold right down and create the top of that box. It's really easy, and there are 2 tiny little flaps that you need to just adhere together. Just like how we adhered those sides, those longer sides together, you want to adhere these short sides together too. And you can use double-sided adhesive or liquid adhesive. Here I'm using double-sided adhesive, but for the rest of the video, I'll be using liquid adhesive. And that is simply because I like the liquid adhesive because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. When you slide this box together and put that top of the box down, sometimes because it's cardstock, you need a little bit of extra wiggle room, and so that's why I like using the liquid adhesive. You can see here, because I used that double-sided tape adhesive, my lid doesn't want to quite go down, so I went back in with some liquid adhesive and made sure that the top of the box was big enough to fit down on top of my Impossible Box. Then I also just adhered the bottom of the box together using some liquid adhesive. As I went to put my chimney pieces on top of my box, I realized that I didn't use a red cardstock that was quite dark enough, but I had used my darkest red. So all I did was grab my eye brush, blender brushes, and added some brown ink on top of the red, and that made this more of a brick red color. Then I'll use my liquid adhesive, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere each of those chimney pieces, those brick pieces, onto all 4 sides of my Impossible Box. This is sized perfectly to fit on one of those larger sides, lining right up from top to bottom, so you don't even really have to think about it. So I use liquid adhesive, and then the whole way along, I am just making sure that my box pops both up and down, and it does. So now it's time to add the icicles on. Whenever I'm creating anything interactive, I like to test the interactive pieces as I go along. So you'll see me throughout this whole video kind of making sure that the Impossible Box will both open and close and still be secure and hold everything in place. I'm using liquid adhesive for this, just again so that I can wiggle things around and make sure that they are on straight. And this is the last little piece of ice to go on the top, and you're going to see how adorable this Impossible Box is and it looks like a chimney all the way around. You definitely don't have to do it all the way around, but it didn't take that much time, and I think the effects are really awesome. Now, in the Impossible Box Christmas add-on die set, there are 2 dies that cut 2 triangles each, so that you can easily cut 4 triangles and put these on the top of the box. You don't have to do this. In fact, this is the only Impossible Box that I did this for, but since I have ice or snow, whatever you want to call that, at the top, I wanted to make sure that that look was kind of a finished look, so that's why I added those white pieces to the top. I die cut that ho 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 3 times and from white cardstock, and now I'm just going to use my liquid adhesive and put that right onto my chimney. I kind of staggered them left and right and overlapped them a little bit just for a bit of whimsiness to my chimney. And now here is my finished Impossible Box, and this is just one of the 5 designs that you can make using the Impossible Box Christmas add-on die set. You can see how easily this lid pops up. You can fill this up with all kinds of little trinkets. If you are giving this to a little girl, maybe little hair barrettes or something. Chapstick would fit in here, washi tape, little candies. You can put anything in here. If it'll fit, it's a great little gift box for that. So let's go ahead and create another one of these Impossible Boxes. This time I'm going to be creating the Santa Claus. And I think a really great idea would be to combine the first 2 boxes that I made. So you could have Santa look like he's coming down the chimney. I think that would be super cute. So again, I'm just putting some double-sided adhesive onto those flaps, adhering those flaps together, making sure that the sides of the Impossible Box are flush. And then the top just kind of folds right down on itself. Remember to fold that top score line out towards you. Everything else gets folded back except the top folds towards you, and that creates that little lip. Here you saw me using my liquid adhesive on those little sides, and again, that just helps me to create some extra wiggle room to make sure that my box is going to open and close properly. I cut out my pieces for my Santa, and I cut them all from white cardstock. And then I just used my alcohol markers to add some different colorings to his nose and his face, as well as I added 2 little black eyes for his eyeballs. I cut the hat from red cardstock, and the hat has this fun little kind of triangle piece coming down from the bottom, and that gives you a place to adhere everything onto, and you can see that as I'm adding my liquid adhesive here. His face lines right up. There's like kind of a little score line at the bottom of his hat, and so the top of his face lines up with that score line. Then I just popped in his nose, popped up his beard, and then I'm going to add on those little eyes using just a tiny drop of glue, and I'm using my eye press burnisher to make sure that those are in place correctly. There's even a die to cut the little puff for his hat, which I think would be really cute cut from some glitter cardstock. I decided to cut that Impossible Box from red cardstock because I want him to look like it's an actual Santa suit. I used the die that you would use to create the elf, and I cut a black band, and that's going to be his belt. And then I used a kind of golden yellow cardstock color to create a little belt buckle for my Santa. So he just looks like a cute little Santa with his little belts there. And then I glued his head onto the top of the Impossible Box. So that flap that kind of folds out towards you, that's where I glued the Santa head, so that when you open this box, the Santa head comes up with it, and it looks like his body kind of elongates. And I'll show you that right here. Isn't that super cute? I think this one's really adorable. So for my last one, I skipped over assembling the actual Impossible Box since I've shown that twice. But I wanted to show you here how to create the snowman. Now, the snowman piece is just one piece, and in that piece you're going to be able to cut the eyes, the nose, and some little extra accessories. So all those little dots are actually meant for his mouth, but I wanted to create a scarf that kind of covered his mouth. So again, I used the piece for the elf, and instead of using it to create a belt this time, I used it to create his scarf band. And then there's that little piece of the scarf that's going to come down kind of the ends. And then there's the little carrot nose that I'm going to use to glue together. So it looks like this snowman is completely bundled up right up to his nose. And then instead of using those extra little black dots for his mouth, I will use them as little buttons going down his white body. So I think this is really cute take a look at all the dies and see how you can kind of change them and make them your own. So here are all 3 of my Impossible boxes made with the Impossible Box Christmas add-on die set. I created the chimney, the snowman, and the Santa, but remember that there are also dies in this set to create a present as well as a little elf. So 5 combinations, and if you kind of reimagine these, there's even more. Thanks so much for watching this video. For more inspiration, you can always head to the icrafter website and blog. And for more video tutorials, please visit the icrafter YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye!